Hello, everybody. My name is Tim Alfredo, and welcome to DESK Unplugged, Education and English Language Learning in Mozambique, a show that promotes English language learning in the country, a country that has a population of over 30 million people with an English proficiency rate of less than 10%. Now, the big question is, how do the students find the learning process? What challenges do they find? And how can we make it better? That's why every Wednesdays at 3:30 p.m. we bring on the show different people from different walks of life, from educators to students. We also try to bring their perspective as to how do they manage to learn English, what successes they've managed to celebrate. And of course, today it's not going to be any different. However, today I have a very, very, very special guest. He's a content creator. I think he's a business and communication strategist. He's a teacher, hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, but before I get too long, I'm just gonna ask him to introduce himself.
Thanks for having me, Timothy.
Right.
It's a real pleasure being here. And a big surprise too, because I didn't know that in Mozambique we had an actual podcast in English. I think this is the first one, so congratulations for that.
Well, thank you very much. Well, I have to congratulate you on that, and I will explain to you why am I saying that.
All right.
But well, before we get dive into the core of our conversation, I'd like to invite you to watch this very short clip.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Diva.
Can you name 5 fruits in English? Hello, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good, and you?
I'm fine. Can you introduce your background?
I'm Larissa. I'm 19 years old. I live here in Maputo.
Good. For how long have you been living here?
Since I was born. It's apple, it's orange, lemon.
What's your name?
My name is Pedro Orlando.
Good. Can you name 5 fruits in English?
Yes. Apple, pineapple, orange, mangoes.
What's up, everybody? I'm here with Admiro. He's a young driver and he's gonna talk to us. So, Admiro, how are you doing?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good. And so, I noticed that your English is good. How did you learn?
First of all, I immigrated to South Africa. No, first of all, I started here at school, at primary school. After that, I went to South Africa. From South Africa, I came back. I was working at Mozal. I was doing a course at Marakwene at July English School. And here I am.
And what would be your advice for someone that is also seeking to learn English?
Yeah, for everyone who wants to be fluent in English, my advice is to practice more, watch contents in English, like memes, videos, films, and movies. And another things that you are always watching or doing.
Todas essas são formas válidas de dizer espera em inglês. Hold on. Por exemplo, se estiveres ao telefone, podes dizer a outra pessoa hold on, para ela aguardar um pouquinho enquanto fazes uma coisa. Talvez queres lhe passar uma informação. Sit tight. Essa também é uma forma de dizer espera. Hang on. Wait, claro. E stand by. E stand by não é exatamente espera, mas é quando tu precisas que alguém fique pronto para um momento subsequente de alguma coisa que vai acontecer.
Wow.
Thanks.
Allow me to shake your hand one more time.
Thank you.
Man, this is incredible, brother.
Well,
It's an amazing work. I mean, you are all over the internet, and of course, for the right reasons.
I mean, not all over, but
Tell me
I
the
try
whole
to.
process. What made you start this project of, like Facebook or the social networks, promoting? You could have been promoting useless things, just like we see with many other people. I mean, not to say that it's all that useless. However, what you are promoting seems to be actually contributing quite a lot, and in a very, very good way. Was that did it start out of some kind of frustrations? You wanted to revenge or avenge on something, and say,
No.
I want to prove it that I can do something of that nature.
Actually,
Please tell us.
Yeah, for a good reason. Yeah. Firstly, I am quite surprised that you came up with some of my clips. You know,
Okay.
I'm not used to watch myself, but
All right.
anyways, well, this is like, you know, back in 2022, I was kind of looking for something to do.
Okay.
Because social media is this place where everybody goes and posts random things, a weekend with friends.
Correct.
Or sometimes when you go to, you know, to another country, for example, or when you go to a restaurant and you post just random things, you know, everybody does that.
Okay.
And I was like, you know, thinking long term, like, what is this leading me to? You know, like, I don't want to keep doing this type of random content. I want to do something a little bit more, like you said, useful. But maybe I want to just get to lead my life towards something a
Educational,
little bit bigger. Yeah, and
bigger,
education,
right.
I think was also something that I had in mind. And back then my English was kind of okay, you know, because this is like the type of learning process that you begin and probably you will never end, you know, learning, that's how it works. You know, you don't get to a point where you say, I'm done with learning. That's all. This is all I can get, you know. And so I had a fun back then, and I thought, why not? So I was making these videos, and the first ones that I made were, some of them went quite viral.
Wow.
And I got started on TikTok. And I think TikTok is a good place to start because they have a way of pushing you
very
quickly.
Yeah.
And you can easily get people's attention. You know, it's easy to go viral. Like, I think so, you know, from my perspective, I think it gave me sort of these encouragement, you know, because I was like, okay, this platform is working and let me just use it. And then I expanded to Facebook and Instagram. But I did, and I still do have a strong, you know, inclination towards education. I think, you know, we live in a country where not everybody has opportunity to pay for education.
Right.
But even those who have, it's not as easy to get to places where you can learn. Yeah.
Well, as you were talking, I was counting the number of times you mentioned viral. It went viral, and I think I got 3. Now, speaking about, you know, a video going viral, one of your posts is, you know, like getting that much attention. Has any of your viral video led to some sort of an opportunity because of that? Let's say job opportunity or...
Job opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, probably. But firstly, I have to mention that at the beginning, I wasn't even seeking for job opportunities.
Okay.
I had something very clear in my mind.
Now, it just came up as a benefit.
Yeah. At the beginning, I wanted to create sort of like a business, like English school type of business, online.
Okay. Right.
And this was what I had in mind. But I guess, yeah, you know, I remember, I guess it was a video I made. Well, I cannot recall which one because I have had many going viral. But probably this one was one of the interviews that I made back then. And it led me to an interpretation job.
Wow.
So, and this was like the person had seen it. And when they were seeking for someone for that job, they came straight to me. And it was good because, you know, I didn't have to, you know, convince them of anything.
Okay.
And I think this is...
so the video spoke for themselves?
Yeah. And the person was like, okay, this is the kind of guy that I'm looking for. And so some of these videos, they work like my resume.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
You bet they are. They do.
I do have a day job now. You know, and I teach English at night. And so I remember during the interview process, and they wanted to know, like, okay, yeah, you know, you seem nice. We like your resume and all.
Okay.
Because I have a degree in journalism, so the job has to do with that. But they then asked me, like, do you actually speak English? And I was like, what? I am a teacher. And so, not to brag about it, but I think it makes it easy when you actually teach it. And so you leave no doubt that you can handle the type of maybe requirement that they may have. Yeah.
That's it. Now, a lot of people, I mean, this is common with most people in Mozambique, will tell you that it's hard. English is hard to learn. I mean, to master as such. They say that. Yeah. However, with you, from what I've noticed, is that your followers seem to enjoy what you're doing. They seem to appreciate. What is the secret?
Yeah, that's a nice
Because, you know, like for a society that thinks that this is something hard. Because one of the things that you have to understand, when people sense that something is hard, they tend to avoid it because it's hard. Yeah. Nobody wants to invest their time in something that is complicated. You get what I'm saying?
I got it.
Yeah, but your followers are completely opposite to what I'm saying. They seem to enjoy what you're doing. What is your secret?
Okay, I wouldn't say it's a secret. Yeah? Okay. But of course, we do this, you know, almost everybody wants to learn English. I have never come across someone who explicitly told me, like, you know, English is nice, but I don't want to. Everybody wants it in some degree.
Yeah.
And so I guess, and I think most of the times people make it boring. Take English textbooks. You know, I don't even have an English textbook.
Wow,
because it's not easy for you to take a textbook and sit and be like, okay, right now I will learn English. I want to devote my time to this. But some people, I think they do. They have like a lot of discipline for that. Or maybe they are very, you know, they want it.
I mean, there are many different types of learning abilities. Some people learn by reading, some, you know, they're more better off listening to things and watching. Yeah,
that's right. But today, I think we have a different type of opportunity because people, when they usually get their phone, they want to have fun. You know, even just before the podcast, I was scrolling through Reels on Instagram, on TikTok, watch some fun video. This is what we want. It's easier for us to consume this type of content.
True.
And so my thinking process was like, it won't be nice if I just, and sometimes I do make this type of videos, even the ones that we have just seen, in which I simply talk straight to the camera and I try to like explain some things. But those videos, they never go viral.
Okay.
For something to go viral, you know, it has either to be fun, very fun, or like really creative. And so I try to bring these ingredients.
This balance,
It's not always easy, of course, because creativity is like, it's not like you have something and you keep repeating it. You have to keep innovating it. And so sometimes I'm able to do that. And, you know, it means that I get to teach something to a broader audience, but sometimes I cannot, you know. I am not creative enough, but I do have the intention of teaching something. And so it's a very interesting game for me to, you know, to sit sometimes and think through like ideas or brainstorming ideas like, will this work, will this not? But sometimes it's completely like, you know, random. I have had very recently a video in which a company, a very big company, Lacoste, actually commented on the video. This video has gone absolutely viral. And not even in Mozambique, you know, it has comments
That is impressive.
From all over.
Wow.
And I made this video in Cabo Delgado. It was like a working trip, you know. And
what was it about? What was the video about?
It was about animals, you know, the type of video in which I asked, like, name 5 animals in English.
Okay.
And this guy, he went like Lacoste, you know, he meant like crocodile probably, or something related to that. And the video ended up being one of the, maybe at least People think so. One of the funniest I've ever made. And it got the attention of the brand. The brand, like, wow, we are so big that people mistake,
like animals for our brand.
Yeah, but when I went to Cap Delgado, it was a working trip. I wasn't even thinking about making videos.
Okay.
But this opportunity arose. I was at this school in Montepuez, and I said, okay, I have 5 minutes. Let me do it. Okay, let me try to interview these kids.
I mean, as a content creator, your resources are almost everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So you just kind of took opportunity. You took chance of that opportunity.
Yeah.
To
That's
do that.
it. It's never something that. In fact, I don't think the videos that I have made that went viral are the ones that I planned. Okay. Yeah, those are the ones that I did not plan. I was kind of by chance. Even the ones at the beach, I didn't quite plan it. Opportunities arise.
They say the best ideas, in most cases, they're just random.
Yeah.
You know what? Hold on. That's a word that I learned from one of your videos. Hold on.
No, come on.
Okay, let's call in our first intro for the Etymology Quest segment. Welcome back. Apolinario, we have this segment. We call it Etymology Quest.
All right.
Which deals with the origins of some of the common English words that we find in the English vocabulary. However, unknowingly, these words came from other origins. Yeah. They are not originally English, so they were imported and adopted into the English language. So I'm going to ask you 2 words.
Okay. Hopefully.
Usually I ask for 3, but today I'm going to ask because I think we've got a lot to talk. One of the first words is sinister. Sinister. Where do you think this word come from?
Sinister.
Sinister, yeah.
Very interesting one. It's funny because you were supposed to ask him something from my videos, something that you know.
Okay, yeah, I get.
Okay, but I don't know, but I can guess. I want to try to guess.
That's the whole purpose. If I knew that you knew it, I mean, I wouldn't even ask you that.
It breaks the purpose.
Yeah, it would just kind of defeat the purpose. Yeah.
But let me try. Sinister, of course, seems something not good. Yeah. Okay, maybe. I don't know if it has this English origin. I don't know, but. It sounds like, because in English we have some words that clearly comes from French. Okay. So I recall yesterday I made a video in which someone said coup d'état, which is a French one. But that one, I don't know. Honestly, I don't. What does it mean?
What does it mean, or where does it come from? What is the origin? It's Latin. Yeah, so Latin. Comes from Latin. The next one is checkmate. Checkmate. Like in the chess game.
Yeah. Okay. I am in luck because I have seen something about that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's nice. That sometimes we read random things on the internet and then boom. So I think, and this is just my guess because I'm not sure if the things that I read are actually true, but it was like it has this Persian origin.
Wow, and you are absolutely correct.
Am I?
I'm amazed. So you got it, checkmate.
Yeah.
Checkmate.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So, so that was it, our segment with the Etymology Quest. Welcome back to our chat with Mr. Apolinario Machombe, content creator, business and communication strategist. I've learned that you're also a translator. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever those opportunities arise, I do translate.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, let's move on into our discussion. Most people, like I said, throughout our discussion, I say that people tend to say that English is hard. It's difficult to learn, and within those people, there are those who will say that, who will feel that they are scared to speak English. And they're even scared to a point of not even trying to learn it or to actually to challenge that. What is your advice? What advice do you give to those people who are skeptical about learning English and to just start, walking the talk?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, a great question because, I get those people all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, in fact, right now I'm running a fluency test for free for people. They can book an appointment with me and I will call them just to test, and I can, based on that, I can give my recommendations.
Okay.
Sometimes they are just beginners and I say, okay, you should spend more time listening. But overall, I think this fear is very common among people. And, over the years, I have given many different advice, but now I am sticking with this one, which is get to know people or get to places where you can speak consistently over a period of time.
Okay.
There is no shortcut tricks, magic. You just have to get used to it. Because even this very conversation we are having, this is not like a, common type of thing. I am Mozambican, I guess. So are you?
Yes,
okay,
I am.
So both Mozambicans, and we are having a full fluent conversation in English. I think this is, I guess for me it's impressive. I don't know about you, but you seem like you have been to another country. I don't know. Maybe you have lived.
Yeah, but for a very short time.
Yeah,
short period. Yeah,
short period. I've never, and for me, this is like wow, man. How these guys they've never, and yet they are here having a podcast, full conversation in English. That's I would say not easy. Probably 2 years ago, I would even had accepted the invite. I would say, that's too much. 2 hours, 1 hour speaking, that might be, I don't want to mess up. But, it's like there haven't been any tricks for me. It's like, just consistent practice with my students, actually, in class. And not that you have to try hard. No need to try hard. Just show up. Yeah, I would say whoever is afraid of speaking, whoever is skeptical, whoever thinks the process is difficult, you just have to show up.
Just get in the habit, into the habit of doing things. Just do it.
It will never, the process will be seamless to you.
Yeah.
If you just, let's take 100 days and try to show up. Of course, you won't be able to show up in all 100 days.
Of course.
But let's say you show up in at least 80%. That's still good.
It'll be worth the effort.
Yeah. And you don't even need to show up that much, let's say 2 hours. That's 45 minutes. You have a group of people, 5 people. You pick a topic, just any topic. You can talk about anything. In my class, we talk about anything. We talk about elections. We talk about LGBT rights.
Are you referring to the online classes, or do you have the physical classes?
Online classes.
Okay.
Yeah, we talk about anything. And the purpose of that is that we want to get used to having opinion on different things.
Yeah.
Whatever is the topic we are in. And we try, and sometimes people are like, I don't know if this topic is nice, it seems boring. Even if the topic is boring, it doesn't matter because you are just practicing giving opinion off the cuff, No one has told you that you need to prepare. Just show up and speak whatever you think.
In fact, not all topics will be exciting.
Yeah, and they're not
all topics will be exciting. It might be boring for you, however, it could be, exciting for somebody else.
Yeah.
Similar to a classroom.
Not all classes.
Look at it. Yeah, some people like mathematics, some people don't. Science, some people don't. So
yeah,
and life is just about that.
Yeah,
life is not
that's
fair.
life. Yeah, I agree.
That's
That's life. Life is not excited all the time.
Yeah, it's not
and
excited
this
all the
was
time.
something was very draining for me at the beginning because
Okay.
I used to try to make all my classes exciting.
Hmm.
Like this has to be exciting. But right now I have changed my teaching
That
style.
would get you
It's
overwhelmed
like,
sometime.
Guys, we have this content, this planned content, and some classes are very exciting. You're gonna love them. Some are not. But this is life. We have to talk about everything. Try to show up as much as you can, but don't expect me to make you laugh all the time. Sometimes you're gonna be serious, sometimes it's gonna be boring, but your job is to join these classes and try to cultivate your thinking process, with whatever we're gonna present to you.
Good.
Deal? And okay, let's do it.
That's it. Well, let's have our second segment. We call it From Blunder to Wonder. Now, this is a segment where we try to look back in a funny way, those awkward moments in the past in our learning process where we used to say things in a wrong way, unknowingly, sometimes even with pronunciation, sometimes using things in a very different context, thinking that we were correct. Well, welcome back. I think I've explained the whole purpose of the segment, From Blunder to Wonder. One of those moments in your process, in your learning process of the English language, when we all do that. Sometimes you spend a lot of time using a word incorrectly without knowing, thinking that this is the right way of doing it. And then to a point where after you realize that, oh my goodness, was I really saying this? Did I keep saying this all this time long? Yeah. Has that ever happened to you? And do you recall any of that? Okay, any example?
And fortunately, or maybe unfortunately for me, this has been like on camera.
Okay.
Some of these videos, they are still on my pages. And I don't delete them because, it's like part of my process. Some people will watch something I made like 2 years ago. And
then they will make comments.
Yeah, they were like, that's not how you're supposed to say it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know, but I have improved. Watch my recent stuff and you will see. And so I want to give you 3 examples.
Okay.
The first one, this is about years of me saying these words wrong. Years, not just once.
Oh,
years.
Is it?
And this is, when it comes to regular verbs.
Okay.
I guess maybe you have seen.
So did you say regular or irregular?
Regular.
Okay.
Yeah, many people, including me, we, tend to say, or people tend to say, because now I have fixed it, take the word asked.
Asked.
And some people will go asked.
Asked, yeah.
Of course, I have a recent video on that. Jump it.
I think I've seen that.
Kill it.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right.
And even the video I made recently on Bolsonaro, the former president of Brazil.
Yeah, I saw that too.
He makes exactly that pronunciation mistake. He goes like sentenced, which is something, I guess it's soft, sentenced. And so almost all regular verbs, I would say. But okay, that's not something that someone told me. I had a teacher at university. She was the one who came with that. For me, it was an insight because she pointed that out. Like, hey, I know that some of you probably say this like this, so let's fix that. And I wasn't even, it didn't even occur to me that I was making the mistake. Now, the second one, and also I have videos making these mistakes. Not one video, but probably 5 or even more. And they're still there. And even now, sometimes when I want to say it, I have to pause a little bit. And I did even during the podcast, which is Mozambican.
Mozambican. Yeah.
And
I keep asking myself when I hear people say that.
Yeah, Mozambican. But, it's so intuitive and it feels like that's the right way. But someone has told me that it's actually Mozambican.
Mozambican, yeah.
But it's not intuitive for me to say it. So I have to pause, even now. And the third one, and this was maybe the most embarrassing one. And also I had a video, and the video, I guess it's still on Facebook. I was trying to differentiate similar words.
Okay.
Like tough, through. And the last one was, okay, let me say it wrong first and then I will try to fix it. And so I said like thorough.
Okay.
Do you have an idea what I was trying to say?
Thorough?
Yeah.
You were trying to say thorough?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, thorough.
Yeah.
Because it seems like thorough. And someone like, hey, that's not it. And so this was the last one, I guess. Of course, I keep making mistakes even now, but you know, that's the beauty of the learning process.
Okay.
If you are quick to assume your mistakes, then, and if you are committed to keep learning, and it won't be a big problem because, you know, it takes just a little bit of humbleness and to understand that you won't get it right all the time. Yeah.
Well, thank you. So that was our Blunder from Blunder to Wonder segment. Welcome back to Blunder to Wonder segment. So we are almost running near the end of our conversation, but we still have a few points to address. Well, in one of your videos, you've mentioned, you say that mistakes are the best teacher. You say it in one of your videos.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you said it. Mistakes are the best teacher. What is the funniest mistake that you've seen students make that really changed the way how you see things?
Wow, that's interesting, you know, because right now and this is something people might find surprising because I actually don't find mistakes funny.
Okay.
You know, but people do. So I keep making these videos for the audience because the audience loves, and I think it's a nice opportunity for me to teach them something. But when I am like, let's say with someone and they make a mistake, I don't find it funny, actually. You know, I don't know.
But there
why.
are funny mistakes.
But there are funny mistakes, you know, pronunciation type of mistakes. But maybe because I'm a teacher, you know, like as a teacher, I guess you cultivate to not laugh at your student's mistake. I think that's a thing with me. Somehow, it's not like, but, you know, I think that video, the Lacoste one, I think that was funny for me.
Yeah, it was.
Because, especially on site, before the editing of the video, I thought, well, this is really fun.
Yeah.
That this guy, you know, saw a crocodile, but he managed to link it with a brand, Lacoste, because he couldn't recall the real name of it. I guess that was really fun for me.
How has social media changed the way how people learn English, in your opinion?
Well, that's huge. I think it made it more accessible, much more easier to, you know, to remember. I say this because for my classes, for example, my students sometimes don't join the classes, but they do join when I launch a video and they see it on Facebook and they be like, oh, I have class with this guy. Let me go back. I think it has that. But the main reason I would say is that it makes it possible for anyone who has a smartphone to learn if they are willing to do so. Willingness. Because, you know, on social media, you have everything. You have memes, you have gossip, you have movies. You can spend your time doing nothing if you want. But if you have the willingness, you know, you can use your phone to learn. And I think this kind of was the same with me. I guess social media played a big role with my learning process.
That's good. Now, you as an influencer, how do you keep a balance between education and entertainment to keep your students engaged? How do you establish that balance?
You know, I'm struggling with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm struggling with that because actually right now, I wanted to spend more time, take a podcast.
Okay.
This format is brilliant. I had been thinking about it, but sometimes I'd be like, okay, will this be enough of entertainment for them to stick around and learn? or should I just keep entertaining them with
The
the
way
things
how
that
you're
they
doing,
love? Because
yes.
the audience, and they tell you what they want, but sometimes what they want is not what you want to present.
Okay.
And I'm struggling because I keep making videos in which I am straight to the point where the things that I want to share. But as I told you, the engagement is not as high as when we have jokes or when
You just
we
do,
interview
like,
people.
like some random things.
Yeah. And so it's like I would like to spend more time with just education and less with entertainment. But I feel like in the long run, I will have to balance these two in a way that consistently we have both, even though we are trying to convey something much more significant, which is education. Yeah, because, I guess my objective right now is to lead people, more people towards it.
Wow.
And not, I'm thinking like I will do whatever it takes. If it has to be funny,
Just
then
to
let's
keep
do it that way.
people
Yeah,
engaged.
let's do it that
Yeah,
way.
that's good. Well, let's have our final segment, and this one we call it the 5 fabs. Let's call in the. Welcome back, Mr. Apolinario. We have this segment, the 5 fabs, which is short for favorite. So these are your 5 favorite English-related things, and I'm going to ask you which ones are those, one after the other. And the first one is, what is your favorite English word? Yeah.
Nice. I think.
Did you say nice? Is
No,
nice your
no,
favorite?
it's not.
Okay. All right.
No, it's not nice. Nice is it's okay, but
Yeah.
it's not it. It's fine, because it's not fun.
Okay.
Because I have had many, or I keep having, I guess you understand. I teach English, so I cannot stick to one favorite word.
Okay.
They keep changing. But I think right now is acumen.
Acumen.
Yeah, which is
Okay.
acumen, which is I would say intelligence, but your ability of being smart, of using that. Yeah,
It's not a very active word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's fun because I don't use it that often.
Okay. The next one is, what is your favorite English phrase or idiom or a quote?
A quote,
Yeah.
okay, would be consistency. Consistency is better than talent.
Consistency is better than talent. What does that mean?
It means that even if you're not talented, if you are consistent
Yes.
in your craft, you're gonna win at the end. No matter what you're doing.
Wow.
If you're a photographer, if you're a videographer, whatever you're doing,
Consistency will get you there.
will get you there.
Good. The next one is, what is your favorite English song or lyric?
That's nice. Okay. I would say, Stan by Eminem.
Wow, I love that one too.
Yeah. Because that song is it's a
good.
short movie.
It's a nice one. What about your favorite English book or author?
Definitely, I will say J.D. Salinger.
J.D. Salinger. Okay.
The Catcher in the Rye.
The Catcher in the Rye.
Great book.
Okay.
I highly recommend
I
it.
have not read it.
You should.
Oh, do you have one at home?
I do not. I've never had
Okay.
it.
Maybe I should check it online.
Yeah, and it's very difficult to find.
Okay.
I have like a online version.
All right. The last one, it's, what is your favorite English accent?
I can give you 2 answers. Which one do you want? The short answer or the long answer?
Give me the short answer.
The short answer is the one that you have. I won't go like the British or American because I have changed that.
Okay.
I think we as Mozambicans and whoever we are, we should be proud of the way we speak.
Okay.
So if you notice, I might have some American, something related to that because I spend a lot of my time watching American content.
American content, yeah.
But I try to embrace the way I speak without going to other continents. I respect the way American and British people
So your
speak.
favorite English accent is the one that you have.
Yes. And this is the one I'm cultivating.
All right,
Yeah.
I get that.
And I don't even teach students accent. I tell
Okay.
them, I won't teach you accents. If you want to develop accent, you should do that by yourself.
Yeah, just
Right?
get inspired your own
Just
way.
get inspired. Yeah.
All right. Well, so that was the 5 fabs. Welcome back. Well, we've just reached the end of our discussion. Very, very fruitful one. It's been an honor to be with you today, and I'm hoping to have you in, as many times as you may wish.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
You
And
know-
do you have any final considerations before we call it a day?
Yeah, well, maybe to let not all students or whoever who's trying to learn English that,
Okay.
if you can join a course, do join a course. If you cannot, use all the available resources that are free, YouTube, Spotify, books, social media in general. Find a group of people with whom you can practice.
Good.
It will be very nice. And I don't care if right now you are not using English or if you don't need it. At some point of your life, you will.
You might need it.
You might need it, yeah.
Any special greetings at home or to whoever that is watching?
Well, to my, followers,
Okay.
who I hope will watch the podcast.
Definitely.
Thank you. I guess I have never had the right opportunity to thank them for, keep encouraging
For all
me.
the support, yes.
Yeah, to supporting me, watching the videos, even when I am tired of making them. Sometimes they keep it's nice, and keep making more, and that's nice for me. And I want to let them know that this journey is just at the beginning. We still have much more coming.
Thank you. Well, so that was it, our discussion with Mr. Apolinario, who has been able to unplug a lot of interesting and very useful things that I believe that you can also implement those into your lives. And of course, you heard the man's recommendations and advice. Keep consistent, try to do something and never quit. Just get in the habit of doing it regularly, and you will see the benefit. Well, to our viewers out there, just remember that education is a collective effort. Whether you are a teacher, you are a parent, you are a policymaker, just remember that together we can transform the way how education is conducted in Mozambique. Well, if you've enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe for more future episodes of Chat Desk Unplugged right here on Mindcast TV. Stay safe and stay curious. Keep learning. Ciao.